Hey, my name is Q Reyes, and I'm going to dedicate as much time as I can to a company that I cannot stand. I cannot stand them. It's a company that really just brings about some of the worst business practices that you've seen anywhere. And that company is T-Mobile. I'm not saying they're the worst company. There's probably worse companies out there. But this company has some of the most deceptive business practices that you can find anywhere, at least here in the United States. So I want to start off with my beef with them. Okay, I'm a customer still of theirs, because I feel if I go over to AT&T or elsewhere, I'm just going to be in the same situation without, in probably in a worse situation than I am now. But right now, T-Mobile acts like they are the king of the world, and they are. They really are. The telecommunications, all these cell phone companies, they are so protected by the government that you can't even complain because there's nothing you can do about it. Recently the Supreme Court had a case that, basically they ruled that you cannot do a class action lawsuit against these telecommunications companies. So if you wanted to sue T-Mobile, you would actually have to do it one by one. Like if the millions of customers wanted to sue them, you cannot come together against them. You have to go one by one. And they do that in order to make it so burdensome that no one does it, because it's a lost cause. But I'm just absolutely tired of them. I'm tired of the way that they advertise certain things, give you other things. They, this whole unlimited, it's not unlimited. The whole, this is your rate. At the end of the month, you get a bill that's probably twice as much as whatever is advertised or whatever they told you your bill was going to be. And I'm going to go one by one with my different beefs. One of them is that they're always adding this insurance, unwanted insurance that is just nothing but another scam of theirs. Because even if you lose your phone or you damage your phone, you still have to pay a really high deductible. So what are you paying insurance for? You only, with all the money you're paying in insurance, you could have just bought yourself another phone. And try to get that insurance off your phone, and it'll take you a few months, because this is what they do. You call, you say, okay, hi, I want to cancel my insurance. They're like, sure. Yeah, sure. Okay. Next month, it's still there. So now you have to call back, and you have to wait on the phone, on hold, or whatever. Now they're calling you back now, and they do this to make it so hard that you're like, okay, it's only $9 of insurance. I'll take care of it later. Bam, they got you. Because imagine if you just get $9 for free from, I don't know, 1,000 people. 10,000 people, 50,000 people. It adds up. Okay, that's one of my things. Insurance, that's the simple one. I think everyone has a beef with that. Now, let's go into these made up taxes they have in their bills. They have taxes that absolutely do not exist. Just look at your bill. And you probably have taxes that I don't have. There's taxes there that do not exist. Now, there's government taxes, and they have that in a section. And then they have another section where they talk about other taxes. And those taxes do not exist. And they should not be on the bill. You did not sign up for that. That was not your agreement to pay on these taxes. If they tell you your phone bill was going to be $80, then it should be $80. And if there's a tax placed by the government, okay, that is what it is. That's the reality. But when you're adding your own tax, your own company tax, that's outrageous. And we pay this and we don't even care. We don't question these taxes because as soon as it says taxes, we assume it's official. We assume that, oh, it says tax, so that must be official. And we want to pay our taxes, right? So it's outrageous. And I'm not an attorney, but I'm sure that there's some sort of law being broken when they are advertising a certain rate and then they add their own tax to the rate. They're like, well, we are giving you $80 a month, but with taxes and fees, it's like, yeah, but that I didn't agree to your made up taxes. That's actually part of the plan. And now the rate went up because you're calling it something else. You're calling it a tax. Doesn't mean that it's not part of your profit here. Well, let me keep moving. After that, the charging of fees, beyond taxes, because they have their taxes, but they charge you fees for everything. Okay, if you're late, you'll get charged a fee. I think that's fair. If you're told ahead of time, hey, if you're late, we're going to charge you a fee. Fine. I'm fine with that. But what they do is that they, at some point, if you're late enough, if you, like, for example, one of my problems is that I continuously, I'm moving around and I just don't have the time and to make the payment. And I'll tell you why I don't do the auto payment, by the way, in a second, but hold up. So I don't have the time to just make the payment. Sometimes just days go by and I get caught up. And next thing you know, out of nowhere, my phone gets disconnected. And you get, you try to make a phone call, you get routed to Tmobile. And I'm like, oh, they got me again. You know why? Because as soon as I hear that, not only is just the fact of the late fee, I'm fine paying with that if I am late, is the fact that they now are going to charge me a reconnection fee. At least $20 reconnection fee. But no, you think, okay, well, how can it be a reconnection fee when the line's still working? It's not like you have to send a technician to look at my cell phone and reactivate it. You're not really reconnecting anything. You're just pushing a button. And if it's a matter of punishment, for being late, you're already charging me a late fee. So if you want to charge a reconnection fee on top of the late fee, you're giving it to me twice at a way higher rate, because $20 is way more than $5, but it doesn't stop there. Because what they do is they charge you a reconnection fee per line. Did you hear that? Per line. So if you have 2, 3, 4 lines, 5 lines, you're talking about paying $20 each. So your bill went from X amount, tack on another $80, $100 on top of that, and the late fee. Oh, but you think it stops there probably. You're like, okay, well, that's pretty messed up. No, I'm not done. So what they do with those late fees and those reconnection fees is that they charge you taxes on that. Do you see where I'm going with this? And some of those taxes, like I said, are not even real taxes. They're company imposed taxes. It's like if you go to a restaurant and your bill is $5, and they're like, yeah, but our restaurant charges a $2 sitting here tax. It's the same thing. So your bill now became a monster. A monster. Not only that, I have lines that are not phone lines. They're just data lines. Like an iPad that I have that has a data line. But they're charging me a reconnection fee. It's It's outrageous. I have one account. I don't have 20 accounts. I don't have 5 accounts. I have one account. So if you're going to charge me a really, really it's unethical restoration fee, are you going to do that 5 times when I have one account? Here we go. And we have to pay it. You know why? Because you need that phone. Most people work through their phones. They connect with their kids and their children to pick them up. We need that phone in order to live within the society we created. So they know this. And they know when they're disconnected out of nowhere and you're expecting an important phone call, you're going to pay whatever. Like at that point, you're not going to argue. You need that phone back up. And they know this and they take advantage of that. So to keep going in the sake of time, because I can go 2 hours on the different details of their unethical, deceptive business practices, but I'm going to just keep moving for the sake of this podcast. Okay. Charging customers to make a payment. They charge you. When you call and you want to make a payment, they charge you a fee. Oh yeah, and they tax that fee. They tax everything on that bill. They tax your insurance. They tax it all. Oh, if you ever call and you're like, hey, I did not order the insurance, I already canceled it, you charge me again, and they give you the insurance money back, dude, they will not give you your tax money back. But let me just keep moving. On top of all of this, if you want to look at your bill online, they make it so difficult. They design like that website like if it's a spaceship console. Like, really, you're really gonna make it that difficult? I have online banking, and I love online banking because I feel that it's pretty simple. You look at your balance, you can make a transfer. You can see everything. It's very user friendly. They, as a big company that deals with mainly clients, customers, regular people, you don't think that they have one designer that will be like, hey, let's make this a little simpler for people to find their bill, to look at their bill, to see their charges? No. And do you think this is on purpose? Do you think that they have a meeting and they go, our website is so user friendly? Or do you think they sit there and say, you know what, we don't want people to have access to these fake taxes because they're going to be on to us? So your taxes, try to look for your taxes on the bill. See how hard of a time you're going to have. And see, sometimes they even break it down. They'll have 2 pages of taxes, a little bit here, a little bit over there. It's deceptive. This is done on purpose. Another part, try calling their customer service. Sometimes I've been getting lucky and get a United States rep. Doesn't help much because it's still the same company. But you know what I despise is when I get a rep somewhere in India, somewhere in the Philippines. They just follow the script. I'm like talking charges. They don't understand. They have a script. They go back to the script each and every time. They don't care. I don't know if they don't care or if they just don't understand what I'm saying. But they make it so difficult for you to resolve the bill. So after me waiting all that time, taking time off of work and being busy to deal with it, you give up. That's just a little bit. I'm going to leave it here. I'm sure a lot of people have other beefs. And I'm going to continue. I'm going on a crusade campaign to make sure that this stops. At least with T-Mobile. Like, I can't speak on the other companies, and I'm sure they can't be too far off. But if we don't do something about this, it's going to continue. And like I said, the courts are against us. The justice system is against us. It protects them for whatever reason. Something needs to be done. And I don't know what yet, but we need to come up with some solutions. So I'm going to leave it right there. T-Mobile is a scam. It hurts poor people the most. It's just a company that just has no kind of ethical sense, no moral sense. They're already billionaires. They're making billions. Do you really need to make more billions? Like, it doesn't help anything. So until next time, I'm going to leave it right there. Name is Q Reyes. Hit me on Twitter, Qreyes, Q Reyes on Twitter. And until next time, later.